Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. Today we'll be talking episode 3 of Ahsoka. I'm going to start with a discussion of the much lambasted Senator Xiono. Then I'm going to give my overall thoughts and takeaways from the episode. Today's video is brought to you by Vite Ramen, and guys, the product speaks for itself. I love Vite Ramen so much, I partnered with them to make my own flavor, Masaman Curry. Read the reviews in the comments, that's all I'll say. It's amazing. But the great thing about Vite Ramen is, aside from getting really tasty ramen, you're also eating healthy, and if it's important to you, you're also supporting a great American company which pays its employees a living wage, and in all of my experiences have just been phenomenal to work with. Also, I'm using the ad money they're paying me to buy Starfield, and that might come with some lore videos. Right now, you can use the link down below to check out not just my flavor, which I recommend above all others. They're all great, mine's the best. But I also encourage you to check out Vite Ramen subscriptions, which give you discounts, flat rate shipping, and early access to new flavors. Also, there is a Masaman Curry subscription coming. It might be on my page, it might not yet, depends when the video comes out. Either way, use the link, use code Eckhartz as well. You'll get 10% off, but on with the video. So, Senator Xiono, I'm going to talk about how much he screwed everything up, but those who have read the original Thrawn trilogy probably recognized immediately the inspiration for this character, one Borsk Phalia. Borsk Phalia acts as a foil for the protagonist. He's an unwitting tool of Thrawn, an element within the New Republic, constantly undermining the efforts of the protagonist. As in episode 3, there are many times in the trilogy where either Han, Leia, or someone else will go before Mon Mothma and have to deal with other members of the New Republic Council, and in particular, Phalia. Phalia directly countermands the Navy and has a personal rivalry with Admiral Akbar, which is exploited greatly by Thrawn, which even results in Akbar being temporarily taken out of service. The similarities continue, however. Both Ziono and Phalia don't really believe in the re-emergence of Grand Admiral Thrawn. They think all the Grand Admirals killed, and both think elements within the New Republic are using the situation to gain more political power. Another element that was very similar between the two characters is the suggestion by Hera that Ziono basically took advantage of the formation of the New Republic to gain power without actually putting the legwork in during the days of the rebellion. This is the same with Phalia. Now, he didn't sit out the Galactic Civil War, however, his support of the Alliance was transparently in an effort to secure power. He would later use the discovery of the second Death Star plans by the Bothan Spynet as a way to get himself a very prominent seat within the New Republic's council. We know less of Xiono's history, but he's pulling all the same moves as the Bothan from Star Wars Legends. The main one being, this is a waste of resources, why are you chasing Imperials? And already we've seen how his poor decision-making has affected the New Republic. Had the fleet been dispatched following Ahsoka's intel, it probably would have been a very short show. Yes, the Eye of Sion has some considerable defenses, but nothing that a New Republic task force would have struggled with, especially with fighter support. So already, Xiono's desire to play politics and perhaps a personal grudge that he holds against the military is setting the scene for an Imperial resurgence. This is the same thing that's happened time and time again in Star Wars, most notably, again, looking at Phalia in the Yuuzhan Vong War, where a failure to take the invasion seriously during the early months allowed the Vong to secure a foothold in the galaxy. So, given the clear basis we have for the character and the existence of Borsk Phalia, what does that tell us about Xiono's future in the show? I mean, perhaps nothing. It's possible that this is the only time he'll show up, and it's also hard to say how long this era will be. If there's going to be 3 seasons of Ahsoka and a movie or more, then I think it's even more likely that Xiono is a pest and a reoccurring part of the show. If that's the case, I think at some point we should expect to see him move against another member of the New Republic directly, most likely Hera. It's sort of interesting to see how Star Wars canon is reconfiguring all of these different characters from Legends. Like, broadly, Hera is taking the role of Leia, but so too is Ahsoka. Ahsoka has sort of been a stand-in for like Leia, Han, Han and Luke. But I mean, we're still early on, so at this point, probably stretching the comparison a little bit. Either way, Ziono's an interesting character. He's obviously very, very dumb, but you have to realize he's not operating with an intention to do what's best for the New Republic. He's operating to do what's best for Ziono. Also, I didn't mention this, but of course, Ziono is the father of the character from Star Wars Resistance. I'm not going to speak knowledgeably about that show because, to be honest, I haven't watched it, but it's my understanding that his personality is fairly consistent with what he was like in Resistance, where instead of doubting the Imperial threat, same thing but for First Order. I've heard a lot of viewers of that show speculate at one point they were intending to have Ziono be a First Order plant, but they never went through with it. I think it could be an interesting twist to the Borskfilia character, where instead of being simply self-serving, he's self-serving, but also a full-on traitor. Otherwise, thoughts on the episode overall? Probably the weakest of the three, but still not bad. I thought, obviously, its shorter length didn't really do it any favors. I think this is something that most of Star Wars TV has sort of suffered from a little bit. Again, I don't think it's a huge issue, but generally an entire season of a show is treated like a miniature movie. That means there are going to be episodes which basically just serve the purpose of getting from point A to point B, where, you know, the big thing is happening next episode. Sort of, you need to spend the time to move the characters to the place they need to be where the more exciting things happen. Now, obviously, most shows will have episodes which are set up, but I just think generally Star Wars needs to try different formats, whether that's a procedural, something that's a bit more episodic, or even what we saw with Andor, where the show was broken into arcs, and I just think those formats work better for television. I just think it's a better viewing experience, or at least it's one worth trying. I know that the budget realities of TV means that we're probably never going to see, you know, big 20 episode seasons without something major changing about the format of each episode, but I just think there's a bit more room for experimentation. That being said, I think that this is like the least egregious example of an in-between episode. It was mostly the length. I thought the action was pretty good. The scene where Ahsoka and Evie, it was just goofy. Like, I think we can admit that was goofy, but the space battle, pretty cool. The special effects, as always, just really great. I liked seeing the New Republic fleet. I liked seeing Hera. I wish that they didn't make little Jason's hair green, but it is what it is. Overall, though, I am very, very excited for episode 4. This show is doing a great job at just keeping me invested. It reminds me of Mando season 1 or 2, where it's hard to wait for the next episode and you've got something to look forward to all week. That's what I love about this show. So far, it's been really meeting my expectation. I think for next episode, we are going to see Baylan and Ahsoka fight, and I think that Ahsoka is probably going to lose. At some point, she will get knocked down a peg, and I think this big man is going to be the one to do it, and it's going to be painful, but I'm really excited to see where this show goes. I hope that they take their time so that characters like Ziono will get the attention they deserve. But let me know what you think. Is this the only time we'll see the New Republic, like Mon Mothma and Co. featured, or will they be a prominent aspect of the show? Let me know your thoughts down below.